Hello again, Cons here. Today I have a naked insect glaive run for you. It was done on stream. We were sort of doing challenge runs and stuff. Twitch.tv/console8 FYI if you want to catch these live. You can see these skills now. I'm going to show you this at the end of the run just so you can prove it's like true. But I thought I'd show you now just in case. You can see I've got Feline Heroics as the food skill. And I've got a bunch of other skills, most notably Fortify. Also I guess Slinger Capacity was covered up there. But yeah, I've grabbed my my buffs and I've grabbed my stones to do the startup, pretty standard stuff. Yeah, so we were streaming Alatreon carries and just sort of event quests and stuff, and I thought it might be fun to do some sort of challenge versions of the quest, and so this came up. Basically, the idea is to try and get the naked kill as fast as possible. Now, this was kind of in the middle of testing. The thing is, I didn't really optimize this, so my use of Fortify and Heroics, they're kind of just there tangentially. I was hoping to take advantage of them, but I wasn't like doing any clever planning. This could easily be like highly optimized if you make better use of those kinds of things. But yeah, if you've seen my video on the sort of dual element insect glaive counter build type meme, that's basically what I'm doing here. I've got a fire kinsect and a raw focused glaive because I know that I'm not going to be able to do any elemental damage on a glaive without any elemental damage. I mean, I did have a little bit of elemental damage initially, but we decided to go for raw to try and end the hunt quicker because we figured DPS would be more of an issue. And the fire kinsect is more than enough to get a few elemental topples. So you'll see me playing a little bit aggressively. Part of this is because I was getting sick and tired of this challenge by the time this run came around. And the other reason, oops, almost died, is that I have guts on this set from my charm and I have heroics as my food skill. So I actually almost want to get hit at some point. It'll take me to 1 health and then I'll have a big increase in my damage numbers. I was initially purposefully taking damages at the start of every run, but then because we kept failing, I thought it might make sort of more sense just to try and win and play it naturally. And you'll see we finished this in about 15 minutes, which is honestly not that bad in my opinion, given that we're not running a particularly powerful weapon set, are we? We haven't exactly got meta skills here, but we're able to do it in 15 minutes or so, so it's hopefully a pretty good indication of just how cool this strategy can be. I plan on doing more heroics runs and maybe even some more naked runs, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Depends on what people on stream want. Yeah, so I've kind of avoided talking about the fighting style right now, but I guess this would be a good time to get into it. You can see I'm playing things a little bit safely. For example, that frost breath there on the ground, if I was to walk into it, I would immediately just get popped. I have 34 defense on this set because of the power charm and the defense charm and stuff, and those don't exactly make a difference. And so yeah, I'm pretty much an inch from death at all times from this run. And yeah, that frost breath will take me down to, first of all, it'll proc guts, and then like half a second later, it'll just kill me. So that's the reason you see me retreat a little bit, play it a little bit safe, wait for him to finish his frost breath before actually going down on him. And then taking advantage of the pogo stick. As far as the actual punishes go, although I'm playing a little bit more safely generally, it's kind of very similar to my insect glaive tutorial video that I did, so have a look at that if you're curious. But yeah, it's just that, but with the strategies a little bit safer, maybe taking advantage of a few less openings. Anything that required me to tank through damage and heal it with health augment is obviously not exactly viable here. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether ice... I accidentally made a mistake here, by the way. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure how ice and fire Alatreons match up. I had ice while I was doing this challenge. However, from my little experience with dragon mode, I get the feeling that fire mode would be a real pain. So if you are going to do this for some god unknown reason, stick to ice mode, because the fire effects on the ground will take you out really easily if you're running on heroics. Of course, if you don't like plan on proccing heroics and taking a hit, then it should just be as fine as ice. Yeah, lots of pogo sticking, very standard stuff. You can see he's into dragon mode, and I've already gotten my first elemental topple while he was in the air. So it's I don't exactly need to worry about him. Yeah, you see there, I could easily have gone for another swipe and I might have gotten it, but because I didn't want to take my my hit. And like even there, for example, I could have run towards it, but I'm playing things a little bit safely. I'm looking right now for an opportunity to get a wall flinch, just because I'd like to get it into rage mode, and also I'd like to get the free damage basically. I got lucky there with the iceberg, but it's not really a huge deal if I take damage because again I have guts and I do want heroics. So yeah, don't worry too much if you take damage here. Unfortunately, a little whiff, but it happens. Now you'll see the damage numbers aren't honestly that bad, and it's because I focus raw in this build so much. In a lot of the end game meta stuff, obviously I'm not going to be doing as much damage, and I'm just avoiding damage there with the pole vault. Obviously I'm not going to be doing as much damage as end game sets, because I obviously don't have any armor skills, but because I'm using a raw oriented glaive with sort of attack augments and that kind of stuff, it basically means that I'm making up a lot of that damage loss by the fact that I'm taking care of the elemental topple in a different way. And you can see, just flinch it out of the air. See the Alatreon advanced tips video if you aren't aware of that kind of thing. I'm grabbing slinger ammo here to buff up my kinsect. I like to keep the kinsect buffed at all times. If you aren't aware, a buffed kinsect does something like 300% elemental damage. And so keeping your kinsect buff can really help you meet the elemental topple threshold extremely easily in this fight. So yeah, like that move for example, I would usually line up a pogo stick, and you have seen me do it occasionally, but because it is basically a 50-50 chance on whether or not you accidentally momentum yourself into one of the lightnings, I've tried to avoid it as much as possible here. You can see I've also got a palico on me. I didn't think that broke the rules of the naked run, but yeah. Oh, I guess regarding the naked run, I am using mantles and I am using a charm. This would definitely be possible without those two things. You can see I'm playing pretty fine without them here. And the charm, which has guts on it, I haven't taken damage yet. It would just take a little bit sort of more skill. Yeah, I don't know. This isn't exactly some sort of speedrunning category, so I thought I'd make my own rules with it. And naked, no armor seemed like a pretty reasonable rule set. I have a couple of decos on the mantles themselves. Again, none of this run is very optimized. It's mostly just messing around. But yeah, you can see opportunities like that to pogo stick the front arms there are risky. And here, for example, you got to make sure you overshoot the head rather than undershoot it, because that breath will proc guts and will kill you if you're not careful. What else needs to be said? I kind of hope I take damage soon so I can just show you the whole heroics meme. Because right now, I might take it after the first Nova, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, this run was it wasn't easy. It took me several attempts. It took me like probably a few hours on stream. But each attempt was fairly close, and mostly I was getting killed because I underestimated how much damage I was doing. And so I had the feeling that I had to push out as much DPS as possible to make up for the lack of offensive skills, because otherwise we would run out of time and get completely screwed over by the third Nova, which would just cart us. I did kind of resign myself to taking a cart here, and I think I do cart at one point during this run. Now here's the thing, during Nova it kind of resets heroics, because obviously you need to heal. So if you've procced heroics, if you've taken a hit to guts and procced heroics, then here when you heal up to full to try and survive this Nova, you'll have lost guts for this cart and you won't have heroics anymore, and it's basically impossible to get back into heroics. So that's just a consideration you can make. Again, none of this is really optimized. You can see I'm landing a few extra hits just to get a head start on the elemental topple here. In dragon mode, he starts to take something like half ice damage, so it is nice to get it out early in this mode. Kind of difficult to commentate over this because it's basically just a long regular insect glaive run that happens to just be playing a little bit less aggressively. I could like speed up the footage a little bit. I wasn't sure if I should. I was worried that people might not believe me or anything if I did, and so that's why I avoided it. Yeah, there you go. You see, I kind of got a bit unfortunate there. In theory, I could have seen. I think I did see the iceberg on the way, sort of vaulting past it, but I didn't think I would move myself into it. So that's a shame, but it's okay. We have heroics now. And so you can see immediately once I start doing, yeah, you can see I'm doing a ton more damage. I've clicked the attack number on screen there. And this is without any fortify procs. If I wanted to increase this time, because it is a 15-minute hunt, I could easily just take 2 fortify carts at the start and then just take heroics whenever it comes. But unfortunately, that would leave me in a bad spot if I do cart. Yeah, in the future, if I do try future runs, that might be something that I attempt. But for now, it's not something that I tried for this run or anything. You can see I'm grabbing stones rather than using my kinsect ammo there. And in case you're a little bit confused as to why I'm doing that. Also, I saved temporal mantle for when I go into this mode here, into heroics, in case you were wondering why I wasn't using it. But yeah, I want to use stones for the flint shots, because the kinsect ammo that I get is quite difficult to get. It requires a claw attack, which obviously is normally fine. You can take a few attempts, but if you're one hit from death at all times, it's not exactly easy to pull off, especially with Alatreon. And so I tried to preserve my kinsect ammo there. You can see very standard openings, just pogo whenever possible. Do be careful of the iceberg and stuff. And again, the way for playing this without a rare one, sorry, not rare one, without doing this kind of meme heroics fucking naked build is it's just exactly the same playstyle, maybe just slightly more aggressively, taking a few more risks. You can see I tried to get my my elemental topple while it's in the air. Again, if you've seen my kinsect specific tutorial, you'll sort of see where I'm coming from, so I'm not going to hash over those details too much. But yeah, I can fairly consistently get that now, just because I loaded it up at the start and then I knew that he was fairly close. Maybe that's something that comes with practice, but it doesn't take too long, especially when you've got your kinsect buffed at all times, and it's just passively attacking it from time to time when you like mark it or use the pogo stick. But yeah, so Temporal Mantle is nice for this. I don't take damage anyway. I don't believe I take damage with the Temporal Mantle, but it's just the freedom that it lets you be more aggressive is really nice. You do have to watch out though. Moves like the Frost Breath on the ground that do sort of damage over time, those will not be blocked by Temporal Mantle. And in fact, I used to use that. I used to use Temporal Mantle and then take one of those hits to go into Heroics. But yeah, so do watch out. For example, this attack here would kill me if I ran into it poorly. So the nice thing about this kind of build, I mean, I wouldn't call it a build, but the silver lining to this is that when you focus a lot of your damage to come from Elemental, in Dragon mode, you just find that your damage decreases significantly. Whereas here, we have just stacked an endless amount of Raw pretty much with the 35% Feline Heroics bonus. And so during Dragon mode, we're still doing really good damage. I'm going to use a Smoke Bomb now. Again, see the Advanced Alatreon tips video if that's confusing you. I have to be really careful here. The fire on the ground, if I walk over it, will kill me. It will take off that last little bit of health and finish me up, so it's a little bit risky. Do be careful. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting, neglecting to mention. Yeah, Feline Heroics is a fixed skill. It's not a daily skill, so you can eat for it consistently, which is quite nice. You could obviously also eat for Safeguard when you're doing strats like this. You could eat for Safeguard. If you have insurance on the menu, you could eat for insurance. If the hunt lasts more than 10 minutes, you can eat a second time. So a nice thing that I found to do is to eat for Heroics once, make it last 10 minutes worth of hunting, and then obviously because of the Nova, I will have lost Heroics and I will have lost Guts usually. And so then when I cart, I can either eat for Heroics again or I can eat for Safeguard just to give myself more time. Both options are perfectly viable. Well, I say viable, it's as viable as a naked run goes, you know. I'm not sure what the deal is with other people doing naked runs, to be honest. While I was doing the run, people were telling me, oh, X content creator has been attempting naked runs. I just want to mention, I try to avoid watching other people's content, Monster Hunter content, just because I'm worried that I'm going to accidentally do like a plagiarism. But oh, you see, I accidentally got a green buff from the kinsect. I hit the tail at some point, maybe automatically, and so that's taken me out of Heroics, which is really unfortunate. But it's not a big deal because it's late Dragon phase. It's about to Nova anyway, which means I was about to lose Heroics at any given time. Fairly soon regardless, so it's not like a huge loss, but it is kind of frustrating. This is a bit risky. I should not have gone for that, and that's just the reason I died. That is obviously, like, the straight fire breath is never a long opening. You can't get a single level 3 with a greatsword on it. I don't know why I pogo sticked. I think I was getting impatient. And also, as I said, I'm playing extremely aggressively at the moment because I'm worried that I'm about to fail. Unfortunately, I can't really eat for Heroics again because I didn't survive until the Nova. However, because I have Fruity, I actually don't have to worry about it. I got really lucky here. If you are going to cart, try to cart as soon after a Nova as possible so that you can refresh your food buffs. You can see I'm refreshing items here because I expect to have to withstand a few more Novas. I didn't realize that this run would be over as soon as it was, to be honest with you, because I thought, you know, no offensive skills, I thought this run would take me a lot longer. I'm probably starting to ramble now. I'm sorry about that. Again, I don't really want to fast forward footage just because I know that people have been accused of cheating and stuff like that. So I'm going to let the whole thing play out. Hopefully my commentary isn't too frustrating. Hopefully I've picked some nice background music to play too. Maybe I'll let that run in high volume for a bit instead of me talking. But if you've made it this far, you've basically seen everything I have to offer here. Now I could tank, yeah, see, straight into Nova. I could like tank a hit. I could have tanked a hit before the Nova. Sorry, rather, if I tanked a hit before the Nova to try and get Heroics, obviously the moment it Novas I would lose that. And so you've got to keep that kind of thing in mind. Here I'm getting basically the one good opportunity to get kinsect ammo, and even that's not entirely safe. I didn't think about it early enough. If I'd been a little bit clever, I could have done that earlier. I'd never really made it this far with a cart, and so I didn't really know what to do, to be honest. I was kind of just making up as I go along. Unfortunately, the old icebergs kind of got me. You see, I could have used the pogo stick there, but I decided to sort of cancel it because I didn't want to risk committing myself into a move that takes too long and then getting claw swiped like I did before. You got to be careful with that move there. If you're far, then get further and sort of keep an eye on the projectiles. If you're close, just try to iframe it preemptively. It's not too bad to do once you've fought it a few times, but that move still gets me to this day. I played it very risky there, and you can see I went too early, and that perked heroics. However, I did want heroics, so that's the reason I'm playing a little bit sort of hyper aggressively. If you aren't aware, Guts, I was terrified here, by the way. Yeah, if you aren't aware, Guts gives you you survive one sort of one hit kill move, or not one hit kill move, but if you have a certain minimum bar of health, and you take a hit that would have killed you, Guts will let you survive that. And so I think it's something like 30%. If you have at least like a third of your health, then the attack that would have killed you won't kill you. And so that's what made me survive. And then that obviously puts me into heroics range, which is for feline heroics is not as lenient as Furious Jang's set bonus heroics. The heroic skill lets you have a lot more health before activating the skill. And there, for example, I could have gotten greedy there and gone for my tornado slash, but and in both of those instances even, but that would not have been worth doing. Now, yeah, you can see it only took us about 15 minutes. I normally pause at the end of these videos to do like a long detailed explanation of the skills, but it's fairly self-explanatory. I don't know why I have Slinger on here. You've seen the augments and the awakened abilities now. You've seen the charm and the mantles. You've seen the weapon. Yeah, there's not really a huge amount for me to talk about, to be honest with you. Here is the time, circa 15 minutes. Not too bad in my opinion. But yeah, hopefully this is. I don't like the idea of trying to dig on the community like some people do. This isn't supposed to be like oh look, don't complain about Alatreon, it's so easy. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to show that well, really I was just doing this for fun, so I wanted to test myself. There's not really a huge amount of commentary in the community to be had here. It's just a fun run. But yeah, if you are struggling, just know that you can definitely make it. If I can do this and I'm not really that good at the game, then you'll definitely get it eventually. Just keep at it. But yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to mention. Sorry for the lack of videos lately. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft. But yeah, I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope this was kind of interesting to watch. Take it easy. Bye-bye.